here's a story which doesn't make too much sense to me. That's why I wanted to share it, because it looks at people who are talking about real world issues or politics in general. And they say, hey, this is happening right now. We should also impact media. We should also look at how we read and watch or view other characters in media. So if you don't know the show Law and Order, it's one of the longest running shows about a police procedural drama depicting, or supposedly depicting, real life. So they have the officer component or the police component where they identify a crime and do their detective work, and then it transitions over to the law or the courtroom. So it's a more realistic, if not more believable, style of police procedural. And I'm not saying it's not dramatized or made to look embellished, but it's believable. It's probably the most long-running believable show we have, and that's just the SVU portion. There's other flavors of Law and Order on TV, and there's all kinds of other police procedurals throughout the world. So this writer from Rolling Stone, EJ Dickson, is saying Olivia Benson is canceled too. Now, I don't know if she's part of cancel culture. She likes cancel culture. It's a strange thing to have, again, a media outlet talk about politics and then suddenly point to fictional worlds and say, oh, that character or this story is also canceled because we think all cops are bastards, or you have to refund or defund the police force. So I don't know exactly what point she's trying to make, because as far as we know, Olivia Benson is a fantastic character. She is a good cop. She routinely espouses liberal views, and she does everything by the book. Even saying that Taylor Swift, a token for white femininity, if ever there was one, named one of her cats after her. So this is a popular character in fiction, in American primetime stories on TV. And it's just a strange thing for people to want this sort of cancel culture reaction. I mean, what's next? Do we go to cartoon characters? Do we look at anything that might even resemble cops being good or bad? Especially good cops that have to be removed. We can look at individual episodes perhaps and say, oh, well, this is where she's a bad cop, or this makes me queasy. But then that would be the point of those episodes. You want to show ethically gray areas. You want the cops to be shown in not the perfect light, because you want that realistic image of believability of what this would be for these real potential people. So if she was even a bad cop, I'd say keep her on the show. You want to tell that story of cops not being 100% perfect. And that would be a much more interesting story in general, because you don't want paragons of justice all the time. You want cops, you want characters to be imperfect. You want them to have flaws. That's why you have stories like this. And even better if it's done in a believable, realistic world like the long-running police procedural of Law and Order. So what this comes down to is your belief in the protests, your belief that you have to defund the police, or that all of it's screwed up, so you may as well get rid of the whole system. And it finishes in her final paragraph here. The truth is that if you agree that the system is broken and great changes need to be made on all levels to fix it, you can't pick and choose what needs to be changed. Now, this is what I don't understand. What do you mean all levels of the police department or cops in general? I'm sure not everyone is bad. This is a basic illogical statement. All A's are B. All cops are bad. That statement itself is ridiculous. And anyone with a modicum of understanding, of argument, who has written an essay in their life going, hey, logically, this is probably not possible. In reality, you can't say all things are all A's or B's. But she's running with this. This writer is running with this idea. No matter how much you love Olivia Benson, you have to be willing to grapple with the fact that she plays a major role in perpetuating the idea that cops are inherently trustworthy and heroic, and that many viewers are unable to distinguish between the gossamer fantasy how justice should be handled, and how it actually is. Again, this is fiction. She is made, the character of Olivia Benson is made to be the good cop. And she's been on the show for hundreds and hundreds of episodes. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having amateur sleuths like Sherlock Holmes or Hercule Poirot, who are pinnacles of society. They believe in justice so much, they bet everything on it. That is idealistic. It makes you feel good. That doesn't mean we go, oh, all cops must be like this. Of course not. It's called fiction. We're not stupid. Why can't we tell stories of fiction, which are fantastical? Why would we want everything to be slice of life or as believable or as realistic as possible? Sure, Law and Order does get close, but we know it's not real. If cops are canceled, that means all cops are canceled. No, it doesn't. In this strange reality that is your brain, that's not how it would work. Not every state, not every province, not every part of the world, not every city, and not every municipality would do that. Maybe in your brain, all cops are bad, therefore cancel all cops is logical, but it's not reality. That's not how the system would work. That's not how a system of reforming or defunding any kind of organization would work. Like you'd have to go on some strange campaign over the planet, or at least your country, to say we have to eliminate all cops because I think they're bad. And the media is bad, and the fiction is bad. It's like, no. Up to and including the strong and pretty ones we like to watch break down pedophiles in interrogation rooms. So even though people love this show, people like watching the good cop interrogate the bad person or the bad criminal, we have to stop that. Because cops by themselves, by their very nature of doing interrogations in the good cop, bad cop style, is wrong. Because we disagree with cops in general. Revolution can't be built on the backs of the exceptions. Okay, so here we have extremists or an extremist explaining to you, hey, this is not how revolution works. This is not how you change things. You have to be 100% all in or you're out. You can't be 99%. You can't be 80%. You can't see some good in some people. No, everyone's bad. All cops are bad. And those who perpetuate toxic systems, again, I don't know what toxic means. I hear this all the time. You're a toxic fanboy. You're a toxic this. You're a toxic that. What do you mean? The only thing I see that's perpetuating or being propagated is all cops are bad, defund the police, racism, yada, yada. When I don't see that in reality. I see individual people doing individual things improperly. Being too aggressive, being too much of one thing, but not overtly one thing. And those who perpetuate toxic systems can't be deemed immune to critique just because we like them. I agree. You should be able to critique a show like Law and Order. Of course you should. Everyone should do that normally. You watch a show, you're like, yeah, it was too believable. I don't know. I don't think the cop would have behaved that way. I don't think the guy would have gotten away. I don't think there's this massive conspiracy or what have you. Because not every show of Law and Order, the cops win or the lawyers win. Sometimes the bad guys get by. So is that believable? Sure, I guess. You can't win them all. It's the context of the show. But here we're arguing on principle. Just because Olivia Benson is a likable, good character or a good cop. It's the simplest equation there is. Yeah, and that's why it's so stupid. If you're limiting yourself to this ridiculous catch-all logic, all A's are B's. If all cops are bastards and Olivia Benson is a cop, that means she's kind of a bastard. Even though the actress who plays her is also cool as well. So this sort of 100% with us or against us mentality, if you believe that this is the case, everything should be eliminated, is insane. And I don't know how someone can write an article like this extreme, without understanding what she's saying or what they're saying. It's almost disgusting. Yeah, well, there's illogical fallacies people make all the time, like biases and poor judgment. But this is, I believe all cops are bastards, therefore all cops should be eliminated. And if you think, even if you like some fictional world where all cops aren't bastards, you're wrong. That is disgusting on an intellectual level. It just destroys all imagination. There might be some good people out there who might have a job in the police force or as lawyers or pick any area really. Just because of current events have warped these people's minds. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. I hope this didn't disturb you. To me, this is kind of stupid. It's kind of silly. I mean, it's just one person's opinion. But that's what we're hearing nonstop every day. More garbage about people who think all cops are bad and we don't have to defund. Oh, wait, no, we don't have to reform. Oh, wait, we should just eliminate and replace. It's getting a little silly. And more media input is not helping, especially when you're talking about taking away fictional characters with this cancel culture bullshit. Thanks for listening. Have yourself a great day.